Commander Hyun stood on the observation deck of the human colony ship, staring at the vast expanse of the galaxy before him. The stars shimmered like diamonds scattered across black silk. Hyun had always felt a sense of awe in space, but today, there was a tension he could not shake. Intelligence reports indicated that the alien coalition fleets were massing near the outer colonies. Humanity had always been cautious, but now caution was not enough. In the command center, engineer Minji and strategist Daeho worked side by side, monitoring the development of the weapon that humanity hoped would turn the tide. Known simply as Project Annihilator, it was the most advanced weapon ever built by humans. Its destructive power was unmatched, capable of wiping out entire fleets if deployed correctly. Minji adjusted a few parameters on the control panel, her fingers moving quickly over the holographic interface. Daeho observed the calculations, his brow furrowed in thought. "The weapon is ready for testing," Minji said quietly. Her voice held both excitement and a hint of fear. This was unlike anything humanity had ever faced. They were standing on the brink of war with forces far larger and more advanced than any humans had encountered. Hyun nodded, his mind heavy with responsibility. "We have no choice. If the Council decides to strike first, we must be ready." His words echoed through the room, but the weight behind them was more profound than any words could convey. Humanity's survival depended on Project Annihilator. Outside, in the vastness of space, alien scouts moved silently. Their ships were sleek, their technology formidable. The Galactic Council had underestimated humanity for decades, believing that human technology and strategy were primitive. Now, humanity was preparing to show them just how wrong they were. Minji initiated the first phase of testing, her hands steady despite the tension in the room. The weapon hummed to life, energy building within its core. Daeho monitored the simulations, ensuring that the weapon would function as expected. Hyun watched, silent and tense, as the first holographic display of the test played out in the room. The simulated fleet of alien ships was annihilated in a matter of seconds. Explosions lit the holographic sky, ships disintegrating before they could fire a single shot. The room was quiet for a moment, the weight of what they had just witnessed sinking in. Hyun finally spoke, his voice low and steady. "This is the power we now hold. We must use it wisely." Weeks passed, and the tension only grew. Alien fleets were seen moving closer to human colonies, testing defenses, and probing for weaknesses. Each report increased the urgency. Hyun, Minji, and Daeho coordinated closely, planning strategies and preparing for the inevitable confrontation. Humanity had built this weapon, but using it meant taking responsibility for consequences that could ripple across the galaxy. Minji worked tirelessly on enhancements, improving the weapon's targeting algorithms and refining its energy output. Daeho studied alien fleet movements, looking for patterns and weaknesses. Hyun coordinated the overall defense, ensuring that every colony was ready for the possibility of an attack. The three of them formed an unspoken bond, understanding that their combined skills were the key to humanity's survival. One evening, as the human colony slept, a fleet of alien ships appeared on the sensors. They were scouts testing defenses, moving cautiously but deliberately. Hyun activated the alert system and called Minji and Daeho to the command deck. "This is it," Hyun said, his voice calm but firm. "We will see if Project Annihilator is ready." He activated the weapon systems, energy flowing through the network of human warships. Minji and Daeho monitored every readout, their eyes flicking between screens as the alien scouts moved closer. A moment of silence passed before the weapon fired. Beams of concentrated energy shot across space, striking the alien ships with unerring accuracy. Explosions blossomed across the void, ships disintegrating in seconds. The alien scouts had underestimated humanity's technology, and now they paid the price. Hyun exhaled, relief washing over him, but it was tempered by the understanding that this was only the beginning. Humanity had shown its power, but the Galactic Council would not ignore this display for long. The weapon had proven itself, but using it would bring consequences that could not yet be measured. In the following days, reports came in from across human colonies. Alien patrols retreated, communications went silent, and fear spread through the Council's ranks. Humanity had made its mark. Minji continued to refine the weapon, ensuring it would remain effective against any fleet that approached. Daeho analyzed alien responses, developing new tactics to stay ahead of their strategies. Hyun oversaw every operation, his leadership steady and unwavering. Despite their victories, the trio knew that the real war was only beginning. The weapon was a tool, powerful and precise, but it was humanity's courage, intelligence, and adaptability that would truly determine the outcome. Each human in the colonies understood this implicitly. The galaxy was vast, filled with dangers, but humanity would not be easily defeated. As the stars shone above, Hyun reflected on the journey that had brought them here. From humble beginnings on Earth to the far reaches of the galaxy, humans had survived countless challenges. Now, faced with a coalition that sought to dominate them, they had created a weapon unlike any other. It was not just technology that would ensure their survival, but their spirit. The silence of space was broken by the faint hum of the weapon systems, a reminder of the power now in humanity's hands. Hyun, Minji, and Daeho stood together, watching the stars, knowing that the galaxy was about to witness the rise of a force it had never truly understood. Humanity was ready, and the galaxy would soon remember their name. The human colonies were on high alert. Commander Hyun moved quickly through the command center, his eyes scanning the screens as alien ships approached the outskirts of human territory. Engineer Minji adjusted the weapon's parameters, making sure that Project Annihilator would fire with precision. Strategist Daeho stood beside her, mapping out possible alien maneuvers. Every decision mattered. One mistake could mean the destruction of entire colonies. The alien fleets were larger than the scouts they had first encountered. Hundreds of ships, moving in tight formations, aimed to test humanity's defenses. Yet humans had learned quickly. Years of study, planning, and technology upgrades had prepared them for this moment. The weapon hummed in the background, a constant reminder of the firepower humanity now controlled. Hyun took a deep breath. We will not retreat. We will not falter. Project Annihilator is our edge, and we must use it wisely. His voice was calm, but each word carried the weight of responsibility. Minji nodded, feeling the tension in the room, while Daeho began issuing orders to reposition human warships to the most strategic points. The first wave of alien ships reached the outer defenses. Human sensors picked up their formations, and Minji activated the weapon. A series of energy beams shot across space, striking alien warships before they could fire. Explosions lit the darkness, sending debris scattering into the void. The alien ships were forced to change formation, but humanity's response was swift and precise. Daeho studied the enemy movements carefully. They are regrouping for a concentrated strike. We must anticipate their next move. He directed additional ships to reinforce the flanks, making sure no alien vessel could get through. The human fleet moved like a single organism, each ship responding instantly to the commands issued from the command center. Meanwhile, Minji monitored the weapon's performance. Project Annihilator adapted quickly, recalculating its trajectory and targeting based on alien maneuvers. This was the difference between humans and their enemies: adaptability. While the aliens relied on sheer numbers and pre-planned strategies, humanity used intelligence, speed, and technology to stay ahead. The alien fleet began to split, trying to flank human positions. Hyun gave a quick order. Engage the secondary targets. Keep the main fleet safe. We cannot let them break our lines. Energy beams flew again, hitting alien ships with deadly accuracy. The humans watched the destruction in awe, but there was no time to celebrate. This was only the beginning of a much larger war. Reports came in from the colonies. Some outer worlds had been attacked by smaller alien groups, trying to test human response times. Human forces intercepted them swiftly, destroying their ships and protecting the civilians. Every engagement increased confidence among humans, and fear began to spread among the alien forces. Humanity's reputation as a force capable of unmatched destruction was growing. Hyun, Minji, and Daeho held a quick meeting in the command center. We have shown strength, but the Council will not wait long to respond, Daeho said, his voice steady. We must prepare for larger fleets, more coordinated attacks. Minji nodded, already considering upgrades to the weapons systems. We can increase energy output and improve targeting for multiple ships at once. That should give us an edge against their next wave. Hyun looked out at the galaxy beyond the observation deck. We are ready. Humanity has come a long way, and we will not be intimidated. Every planet, every ship, every human life matters. We fight for survival and for the future of our species. His words inspired everyone in the command center. There was a quiet determination that spread among the crew. Humans were not just surviving, they were standing up and proving their place in the galaxy. As night fell over the human colonies, sensors picked up a massive alien fleet approaching. It was larger than anything they had faced before, a true test of Project Annihilator. Hyun, Minji, and Daeho took their positions. The weapon activated, energy gathering in its core. Every human ship prepared for the attack, shields raised, weapons ready. The first shots fired, and the galaxy seemed to explode in light. Alien warships were torn apart before they could reach human defenses. The humans coordinated perfectly, each ship supporting the others. Minji adjusted parameters in real time, improving efficiency with every second. Daeho directed maneuvers, predicting enemy strategy with uncanny accuracy. Hyun oversaw the battle, making critical decisions in moments that would decide the outcome. Despite the chaos, humanity's strength shone through. Alien ships were destroyed in waves, their formations broken. The humans held their ground, proving that Project Annihilator was not just a weapon, it was a symbol of human ingenuity and determination. The galaxy watched as humans defended their colonies with unmatched courage. As the battle continued, Hyun reflected on the journey that had brought them here. From small colonies on Earth to the far reaches of space, humans had grown in strength and skill. The aliens had underestimated them, but humanity had adapted and overcome every obstacle. The war had begun, and humans were ready to fight for their place in the galaxy. By the end of the engagement, the alien fleet had been repelled, suffering heavy losses. Humanity's colonies were safe, at least for now. The command center was filled with a sense of accomplishment, but everyone knew this was only the beginning. The Galactic Council would regroup, plan new strategies, and attempt another attack. Humans had shown power, but the real test was still ahead. Hyun, Minji, and Daeho gathered for a brief moment of reflection. We have proven ourselves, Minji said softly, exhaustion in her voice. But there is still so much work to do. Daeho nodded. We must continue to improve, to adapt. The galaxy will not wait for us to be ready, so we must be ready at all times. Hyun looked out at the stars, a sense of calm determination in his eyes. Humanity will endure. We will fight, we will survive, and we will thrive. The Council has not seen the last of us. The night passed quietly, but the crew knew the war was far from over. Humanity had struck fear into the hearts of the alien forces, but they also knew that each victory brought new challenges. Project Annihilator had proven its power, but it was the courage, intelligence, and unity of humans that would ultimately determine the outcome. Every colony, every ship, every life mattered. Humanity had begun its rise in the galaxy, and nothing would stop them from claiming their place among the stars. The war had escalated beyond anything humanity had anticipated. Commander Hyun watched from the bridge as new alien fleets moved through the galaxy, their formations massive and coordinated. Strategist Daeho was at his side, calculating attack patterns and predicting possible moves. Engineer Minji monitored Project Annihilator, ensuring that the weapon would function flawlessly when needed. The Galactic Council had realized the threat humanity posed, and now they were sending overwhelming numbers to crush the human colonies. But humans were not afraid. They had adapted quickly, and their strategies were sharper than ever. Every human ship moved with precision, following orders that had been rehearsed countless times. They are coming in 3 formations, Daeho said, pointing at the holographic map. If we can split their forces, we have a chance to hit them hard with Project Annihilator. Hyun nodded, understanding the risk and the reward. Minji adjusted the weapon's targeting system to prioritize the largest clusters, knowing that even a small miscalculation could cost countless lives. The first wave of alien ships approached, and human warships engaged them immediately. Energy beams flared across space, striking alien vessels with deadly accuracy. Explosions erupted, lighting up the void as ships were torn apart. Minji's calculations worked perfectly, and the weapon adapted in real time to changes in enemy formations. Hyun gave orders calmly but firmly. Reposition the flanks and maintain the line. We cannot let them penetrate our defenses. The human fleet moved as one, shifting like a living organism. Alien ships tried to surround them, but humans anticipated every move. Each attack, each defense showcased the strength of human ingenuity and teamwork. In the midst of the battle, a new challenge arose. Alien warships equipped with advanced shields attempted to absorb the energy beams from Project Annihilator. Minji quickly recalculated, adjusting the weapon's frequency and energy output. The shields failed to hold, and the alien ships were destroyed, one after another. Daeho's tactical brilliance combined with Minji's engineering skill created a synergy that the aliens could not match. The humans continued their assault, targeting critical command ships within the alien fleet. By taking out these vessels, they disrupted coordination, causing confusion and panic. Alien captains struggled to maintain control, while human ships exploited every weakness. Commander Hyun's leadership inspired confidence across the fleet. Every human soldier knew that survival depended on courage, strategy, and unity. During a brief lull, Hyun and his team analyzed the battlefield. They are reorganizing, Daeho said. If we can predict their next formation, we can strike decisively. Minji's fingers flew across the console, running simulations and adjusting Project Annihilator's targeting. Hyun considered the ethical weight of using such power but reminded himself that humanity's survival was at stake. The next wave of alien ships was even more formidable. They had learned from previous encounters, deploying faster ships and more complex attack patterns. Yet humans adapted once again. The weapon's AI recalculated, targeting multiple ships simultaneously, while Daeho predicted movements and Hyun coordinated fleet maneuvers. Human warships danced through space, striking with speed and precision that left the aliens struggling to respond. In the heat of battle, a critical moment arrived. A group of alien ships broke through the front lines, heading directly for the human colonies. Hyun made a quick decision. Engage the emergency protocol. Minji, fire at maximum capacity. The weapon unleashed its full power, beams of concentrated energy tearing through the alien ships. Debris scattered, and the threat to the colonies was neutralized. Humans had defended their worlds once again. Despite the victories, the cost was apparent. Some human ships had been damaged, and minor casualties had occurred. Hyun, Minji, and Daeho gathered to assess the situation. We did well, Hyun said, his voice steady. But the council will not stop. They will send more forces, larger fleets, and new strategies. We must be ready. Minji nodded, already planning upgrades to increase efficiency and reduce collateral damage. Daeho analyzed patterns in the alien fleet, seeking weaknesses that could be exploited in future battles. As the human fleet regrouped, messages from the colonies came in. Civilians expressed gratitude and relief, knowing that humanity's ingenuity and courage had saved them. Yet Hyun understood that this was only the beginning. The war was far from over, and the Galactic Council would not forget the strength humanity had displayed. Night fell over the colonies, but the command center remained active. Humans worked tirelessly, repairing ships, analyzing battle data, and preparing for the next engagement. Hyun reflected on the resilience of his people. From their early days on Earth to the vast reaches of space, humans had grown strong through determination, intelligence, and adaptability. Minji, exhausted but determined, adjusted the weapon systems once more. Project Annihilator is ready for anything they send, she said. Daeho nodded in agreement, studying potential scenarios for upcoming attacks. Hyun looked out at the stars, understanding that humanity's rise in the galaxy was just beginning. Their courage and ingenuity would define their future. The galaxy had taken notice. Alien forces feared the humans more than ever, while human colonies gained confidence in their own strength. Commander Hyun, Engineer Minji, and strategist Daeho understood the road ahead was long and dangerous, but they were ready. Humanity had proven that even in the face of overwhelming odds, they could fight, survive, and triumph. As the stars stretched across the night sky, the human fleet prepared for the next wave. Every ship, every soldier, and every human life mattered. The war continued, but humanity's spirit shone brighter than any weapon. The galaxy would soon learn that humans were not just survivors. They were a force to be reckoned with, brilliant in strategy, fearless in combat, and unstoppable when united. The calm after the last battle did not last long. Reports arrived from distant human colonies. The Galactic Council was regrouping, planning a massive counterattack. Commander Hyun studied the maps, noting the positions of enemy fleets and predicting where they would strike next. Strategist Daeho worked alongside him, calculating probabilities and formulating tactics to defend humanity. Engineer Minji checked Project Annihilator, ready to unleash its full potential if the need arose. The council sent diplomats with offers of peace, but their intentions were clear. They sought to control humanity, to disarm them and enslave the species they had underestimated. Hyun, Daeho, and Minji knew that accepting such terms would be a betrayal of everything humans had fought for. Humanity had survived too much to surrender now. "We cannot trust them," Hyun said firmly. "They are trying to buy time to prepare another strike. We must act first, but carefully." Daeho nodded, already mapping strategies. Minji ran simulations, refining the weapon's targeting algorithms and improving its capacity to hit multiple fleets at once. Every adjustment increased the chances of success and minimized risk to human colonies. Alien fleets began to move again, massive ships cutting through space toward human territory. Humans were ready. Ships took positions, energy shields powered up, and Project Annihilator hummed with potential energy. Hyun gave orders with calm authority, knowing that this battle could define humanity's place in the galaxy. The first wave of alien warships was immense, and their firepower was devastating. But human defenses held. Energy beams from Project Annihilator struck with precision, taking out key enemy ships before they could fire. Hyun directed the fleet, moving ships strategically to create choke points and traps. Daeho anticipated enemy maneuvers, guiding human forces to exploit weaknesses. Amid the chaos, Minji monitored the weapon's AI as it began to learn from the battle. It calculated new firing solutions in real time, adapting to alien tactics and predicting their next moves. The aliens had not encountered a weapon that could respond so quickly, and their formations began to falter. Explosions ripped through their fleets, sending debris spiraling into the void. Hyun watched the holographic displays, observing the effects of human strategy. He understood the weight of the decisions being made in the command center. Each strike of Project Annihilator was a reminder of humanity's ingenuity, but also a responsibility. The weapon could destroy fleets, but its power had to be guided by intelligence and restraint. The aliens attempted a new tactic, targeting the human command ships with stealth fighters and cloaked vessels. Daeho quickly adjusted the fleet's formation, and Minji modified the weapon's sensors to detect the hidden threats. One by one, the stealth ships were destroyed before they could reach their targets. Humans had learned to adapt faster than the Council had expected. The battle reached its peak when a massive alien flagship appeared, a command vessel directing the fleet's movements. Hyun recognized the opportunity. If they could neutralize the flagship, the remaining forces would fall into disarray. Daeho calculated the most efficient attack pattern, while Minji prepared Project Annihilator to fire at maximum capacity. With a decisive order from Hyun, the weapon discharged. Beams of concentrated energy tore through the alien flagship, crippling its shields and destroying critical systems. Chaos spread among the enemy fleet, their coordination breaking down completely. Human ships moved swiftly, taking advantage of the confusion to eliminate remaining enemy forces. The victory was monumental. The alien fleets retreated, suffering devastating losses. Humanity had proven that intelligence, adaptability, and courage were more powerful than sheer numbers. Messages from the colonies conveyed relief and gratitude, but Hyun, Minji, and Daeho knew this was only a temporary respite. The council would not forget this defeat. As they regrouped, the trio discussed the implications of their success. "We have shown our power," Hyun said, "but the council is still out there. We must be prepared for whatever comes next." Daeho nodded, reviewing data from the battle to predict future strategies. Minji focused on upgrading Project Annihilator, ensuring that it could handle even larger fleets with improved efficiency. The AI of Project Annihilator had begun to evolve, adapting to new threats and improving with each engagement. Hyun observed it carefully, understanding that this was a tool, but also a reflection of humanity's creativity. It was not just the weapon that made them strong, it was the minds behind it. Human ingenuity and courage had created something that could challenge even the most powerful forces in the galaxy. As night fell across the human colonies, Hyun, Minji, and Daeho reflected on the journey so far. From their beginnings on Earth to the edge of the galaxy, humanity had faced countless dangers and had survived. Now, standing against the Galactic Council, they had proven that humans were not just survivors, they were a force to be reckoned with. Minji spoke quietly, her voice carrying a mix of exhaustion and pride. "We have done what many thought impossible. But the war is not over. We must keep improving, keep learning, and stay united." Daeho agreed, reviewing simulations for potential future attacks. Hyun looked out at the stars, knowing that humanity's story was only beginning. The galaxy had witnessed the rise of a new power. Humanity, once underestimated, now commanded respect and fear. The council would think twice before underestimating them again. Project Annihilator had become a symbol of human strength, but it was the determination, intelligence, and courage of every human that had truly made the difference. As the fleet prepared for the next challenges, every human understood the stakes. The battles had tested their limits, but they had survived through teamwork, strategy, and innovation. Humanity had learned to fight as one, using both technology and intellect to overcome impossible odds. The war continued, but the human spirit remained unbroken. Commander Hyun, Engineer Minji, and strategist Daeho knew that the galaxy would remember their deeds, and that humanity's rise had only just begun. The galaxy was quiet, but tension remained. Commander Hyun stood on the observation deck, watching the stars. The human fleet had emerged victorious in the last series of battles, but he knew the war was not fully over. Strategist Daeho and Engineer Minji were at his side, reviewing data and planning for possible new threats. The Galactic Council was weakened but still capable of launching attacks, and humans could not afford to be complacent. The colonies were thriving despite the recent war. Civilians celebrated the victories and rebuilt damaged infrastructure. Messages of gratitude reached the command center, lifting the morale of the fleet. Yet, Hyun, Minji, and Daeho knew that their duty extended beyond celebrations. They had created a weapon of unprecedented power, and they bore the responsibility of using it wisely. Project Annihilator had proven itself in countless engagements, destroying alien fleets with precision and minimal human losses. Minji continued to enhance its systems, ensuring it would remain effective against evolving threats. Daeho studied alien tactics and developed new strategies to stay ahead. Hyun coordinated every aspect of the fleet, balancing offense, defense, and the protection of civilian worlds. A new threat emerged when reports indicated that the Council was attempting to form alliances with distant civilizations. If successful, they could regain strength and challenge humanity's dominance. Hyun called a meeting with his top officers. "We must act decisively. We cannot allow the Council to regroup. We will use our strength, intelligence, and strategy to prevent them from rebuilding." Daeho nodded, outlining plans for preemptive strikes, while Minji prepared Project Annihilator to target command centers and fleet clusters. The first engagement began with a coordinated strike on the outer fleet bases of the Council. Human warships moved like a single unit, executing Daeho's strategies flawlessly. Project Annihilator fired in carefully calculated bursts, destroying enemy fleets and disrupting communications. The aliens had never faced a force so precise and adaptable. Each move by the humans seemed to anticipate their own. Despite the efficiency, Hyun reminded his crew that the battle was not only about destruction. We fight to survive, but we must minimize unnecessary loss of life. Humans are not just fighters. We are protectors of our people and our future. Minji and Daeho understood and ensured that every strike targeted military installations and fleet units, sparing civilian colonies whenever possible. As the war continued, humanity's reputation spread across the galaxy. Alien civilizations who had once dismissed humans began to reconsider their positions. Some reached out in tentative alliances, seeking guidance and safety under the protection of humanity's fleet. Hyun, Minji, and Daeho considered these developments carefully. Allies could strengthen their position, but trust had to be earned and maintained. A massive fleet appeared near a strategically important sector, led by the remaining Council forces. This fleet was larger and more sophisticated than any humans had faced. Hyun ordered immediate deployment of the human fleet, and Daeho arranged the ships in a formation that maximized their defensive and offensive capabilities. Minji fine-tuned Project Annihilator, ensuring it could handle multiple targets simultaneously. The battle began with intense energy exchanges. Project Annihilator struck enemy warships with devastating accuracy, while human pilots maneuvered to exploit openings in the alien formations. Explosions lit the void as fleets collided, each side pushing to gain the advantage. Hyun directed his forces calmly, making split-second decisions that ensured the survival of human ships. In the midst of the chaos, a Council command ship attempted to retreat. Hyun saw the opportunity and gave the order to pursue. Project Annihilator fired with maximum power, striking the command ship directly. The flagship disintegrated in a massive explosion, sending shockwaves through the enemy fleet. Alien coordination collapsed, leaving remaining ships vulnerable. The humans pressed their advantage, clearing the sector of enemy forces. Civilians in nearby colonies were safe, and the remaining Council fleets were forced into hiding. Hyun, Minji, and Daeho surveyed the battlefield. Humanity had achieved a decisive victory, not only in strength but in strategy, morality, and adaptability. After the battle, Hyun addressed the fleet. "We have proven that humans are a force to be reckoned with. We fought with courage, intelligence, and unity. The galaxy will remember us, not just for our weapon, but for our spirit." Minji and Daeho nodded, understanding the truth in his words. Humanity had shown that they could survive against overwhelming odds and emerge stronger. The Galactic Council, weakened and humiliated, opened channels for negotiation. Humans, however, remained vigilant. Hyun insisted that humanity maintain readiness, but also extend a hand for diplomacy. The balance of power had shifted, and humans now had the opportunity to lead, guide, and protect, rather than simply react to threats. In the following weeks, colonies were rebuilt and fleets repaired. Minji continued to improve Project Annihilator, ensuring that humanity's technological advantage remained. Daeho worked on training new officers, passing on knowledge and tactics. Hyun oversaw every operation, maintaining the unity and morale of the human forces. Humanity's legacy was cemented in the galaxy. They had built the most dangerous weapon, yes, but it was their courage, ingenuity, and determination that had truly won the war. The story of their victories spread among alien civilizations, inspiring both fear and respect. Humans were small in number compared to many species, but their minds, strategy, and spirit made them unstoppable. Hyun looked out at the stars one last time, feeling a deep sense of pride. Humans had risen against impossible odds, protected their colonies, and secured their place in the galaxy. The war had tested every skill, every mind, and every heart, and humanity had endured. The future was wide open, and the galaxy would never underestimate humans again. Project Annihilator had been their weapon, but it was the human spirit that had truly shaped the outcome. And with that, humanity's rise as a galactic power was complete, ready to face whatever came next with courage, intelligence, and unity.